Hello, 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 everybody. How are we doing on this fine evening? I am your host for the first game, Fluffy. With me today is Talon. First game is NerVa versus Guilty eSports. Guilty eSports was formerly known as Afflicted. Just first and foremost, want to say thank you guys for stopping with us, hanging out today. I'm really excited to get this underway. I think the first order of business that we have here is Talon. How are you doing? Some reason we can't hear Talon. Um, Give me one moment. Not sure what's going on there, but in the meantime, what I'm going to go ahead and do for you guys, I think that they're going ahead and going through the pick ban phase. Um, All right, there you are. I think I had it
There
muted
we
on the
are. Good.
desktop. Okay. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and roll out the pick ban phase to start with, Talon. Um, and I don't
Okay.
know, what do you think's gonna go ahead and happen? I mean, these are two fairly new teams. Guess now we know.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to tell and to really predict what we're gonna see. However, I do expect since they are newer teams, like you were saying, we might be seeing very standard maps. Usually, teams that are new aren't very comfortable on the off maps, especially maps like coastline, skyscraper, stuff like that. So I totally expect to see some really basic stuff. Looks like the first band coming out, Bank. Not really surprised there. Bank's not really in the meta in the NA scene yet. So definitely not surprised we see that coming out from Guilty.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit heavier on the strategic side. It requires a lot of time. You have to put the time in to really know that map. It's a very heavy team favorite map, so I can understand why they would board it. Looks like the next one is going to be Border.
Border.
Um,
That's interesting
it's
though. Border
definitely an
seems to
interesting
be
ban.
it's we see it time and time again recurring in the last 2 or 3 months. Border has become a favorite between a lot of teams to be one of the like the new clubhouse almost. So we really it's very interesting that they're going to go ahead and ban it the very first time. That I mean, usually if you're going to do a meta ban, like if you're going to ban a map that's considered meta, then you're going to want to wait till the end to really do that and try to see if the other team wants to ban it first. But we'll see. Maybe they're just not comfortable with it at all.
Yeah, an unusual ban. A lot of people are going to play Border. It seems to be more of the comfort pick here in North America. But right afterwards, Skyscraper. Skyscraper's still fairly new, honestly. Not surprising that it's
Yeah,
banned. Not a lot of people
we've really
playing
been
that.
seeing. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We really haven't been seeing anyone but besides like the top pro teams, playing it
Yeah.
just because no one really has the time to learn. It's a very interesting map, very vertical, lots of vertical play that a lot of teams still have yet to figure out. So I'm totally, not really surprised to see that. What do you think is going to be banned next out of NerVa?
I'm not sure. Honestly, if you look at what's left, I could see Cafe, Coastline was going to be the next one I stated.
Mhm.
Coastline again, very new map, and it's almost like Skyscraper in a sense that it's vertical, but it's very intricate map. There's a lot of little places that you have to worry about, and actually they're very large in size. If you don't have a strong counter roam game or a strong roam game yourself, I would understand why you would like to eliminate both of those maps.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Because again, coastline with the map pool being 9 maps, it's going to be impossible to learn every single map, every single angle.
Right.
Coming out next, we have Consulate from Guilty. Consulate has been one of those maps where it's like a 50-50 between if teams are going to want to play it or not. It seems like Guilty has been banning a lot of these verticals, like Bank, Skyscraper, Console. They're all
Right.
very vertical
Yeah,
maps.
I'd agree.
So I can totally see maybe they're just not as comfortable. Maybe they have some like Xbox players. Yeah, I don't really know, but I'm not surprised we see that. Maybe next at a NerVa, we might see Cafe or even Clubhouse. Maybe some of these teams are aiming for Clubhouse. It seems to be. So maybe they really just started forming when Clubhouse was still a thing. So
Yeah, I could definitely
I'm
see
not surprised
Clubhouse
we see
coming
that.
out today. Um,
Mhm.
but again, Nerva, if you look at their bands, they're almost a little bit random, so it's hard to tell. Not a lot of people are going to play Cafe, so it makes sense why it was banned. I expected it to come out at least at some point. And then you have your standard for the remainder. Hmm. Interesting. So Guilty, they're not going vertical. So what do you think their first pick will be?
I'm not exactly sure,
Chalet's
honestly.
still on the
If I
board.
want to go over, honestly, yeah. So we have Chalet Club, and then what is the third that we're missing? Let's take a look at the
Off the
map
top of
pool
my
here.
head, it always happens. I guess Oregon. That would be the final map.
Oregon.
So
So
you'd have to think that they're
I
probably
expect to
not going to want
see.
to pick the vertical map in Chalet. So I would assume that that won't be Guilty's pick.
I'm gonna say Guilty's gonna go okay. Well, they're gonna go Clubhouse. NerVa's probably gonna go Oregon, and then last is probably going to be Chalet for the tiebreaker. We'll have to see what comes up. Clubhouse again, very meta map, especially season three Pro League. Tons of plays on map on
Yeah,
Clubhouse.
we're not using Glass here, but you still got a Montang, so Clubhouse can be very powerful. You can push them in through the stock. It's pretty much an immediate take. It's a little bit more difficult without Glass, but you can always put Blackbeard behind them and easily see through the breachable wall that everyone opens up into the bar itself.
And there we go. Yeah, it looks like it will be Oregon, then Chalet.
Like you
Just
called
want
it.
to touch on something that, yeah, just want to touch on something that you were talking about. Of course, yes, Glaz is banned. The current meta right now with Glaz being in the operator pool, they're just going to push the Glaz right down dirt tunnel. They're going to get in there. But since they can't use that, they might try to refer back to some of the Pro League Season 3 strategies. Put them on tank, put a recruit shield down that dirt tunnel, put a Blackbeard in there, and the Blackbeard almost does the exact same thing as what the Glass does right now, except instead of being 100% invisible, you can actually see his body. But
Right.
again, if you use it in combination with the shields, then you can definitely get two people in there. It does take a lot more people than just putting one person on the Glass in there. So
Right.
it does shift around. It's not as powerful as the current meta. But again, seeing the no Glass rule is in play, that is a viable option.
Yeah, definitely requires more resources, but of course you can accomplish the exact same goal using a Blackbeard and someone like a Sledge behind that Montang. Oregon, one of the original maps also highly played. I'd say it's preferred by almost all teams except for a few. How do you feel this one go?
Now I don't know these teams like crazy too much yet.
Right.
I know the names. I kind of know the rough play style. But again, Oregon, like you were saying, it is almost, I'm going to go out and say it, that it's probably one of the most competitive maps in all the map pools. If you look at the win rates, almost 50-50 split. There's so many different ways you can go. I've been saying it time and time again. I just love Oregon. I love the layout, and I love the design. Same thing,
Yeah.
Clubhouse used to be really good until it was broken, but
Yeah,
since they
Clubhouse a
came
little bit
Glass, it's actually
different.
been.
You have the introduction of Habana and Mira definitely has changed a lot of these maps. I can't necessarily say they're for the worse. I personally love the insertion of Mira. I think that she creates things that no other operator could possibly do. So I like that. But while we're here, we're going to go ahead and go over the rosters real quick. Our first team that we're going to go over is NerVa. All right, and you can follow them on Twitter at NerVa eSports. Looks like we got Atticus, Vex, Root, Hobo, and John. Don't really know a whole lot about these guys. Scrimmed them some, fairly strong individual player. Just a matter of if they can get their teamwork together. I don't know if you have anything that you can add about these guys. They're a relatively new team.
Yeah, NerVa, like you said, new team. No one really knows exactly what to expect. No one knows if they have some crazy stuff up their sleeves, maybe like a tower hold. But again, looking at the lineup, I don't know exactly who the fraggers are. I would expect to see Atticus and Vex, I believe. I don't know that exactly. But overall, it's still yet to be determined if they're going to be a power team in this league. So again, being the first time that they've been shown on stream, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely excited to see any kind of new blood, whether it be older or younger players. It's always interesting to see how these guys run their maps. Even if they're not successful, some of their ideas could be magnificent and it could be something, special for us to see. And right as we finish up with that, we're going to go over Guilty Esports, like I said before, formerly known as Afflicted. You can follow them on Twitter at Guilty Esports. Of course, this is the second play day in week 1, so they have not played yet. So currently unranked, but we have Crazy 9. Akiya, Reap, and Mailman. Again, not too familiar with this team. I do know Crazy and 9, fairly good players. Akai, I've seen him a lot in ranked. He's a fairly strong gun. I feel it the same way I do about the first one. I think it's really going to boil down to who makes the least amount of mistakes in this one, being two newer rosters.
Of course. Again, that's a lot of what Rainbow Six comes down to, who makes the least amount of mistakes. Uh, Very similar to chess. I like to compare Rainbow Six to chess quite a bit. Who is thinking those couple more steps ahead? Who's got that overall picture? Again, this lineup that we're seeing, crazy, definitely crazy in 9. I know, so I'm gonna have to say they're probably gonna be your two to watch out for. But we'll have to see exactly as the scoreboard develops.
I agree, and I think our players are in, and I'm pretty sure we're about to go. One quick check-in, and that looks good to go. So we're going to get ready. And again, I am Fluffy, and this is Talon joining me. And let's go ahead and get this rolling.
All right, Clubhouse it is. What do you think? Very first strategy is coming out, and give me your predictions.
I mean, it's standard. You have to assume that they're going to go downstairs and go for lockers and armory. But
Yep, we are seeing Church Arsenal coming out first, coming out for the lineup for the attacking team. Thermite, Thatcher, Sledge, Ash, and what looks to be Habana. On the defense, we have Valkyrie, Pulse, Mute, Smoking, Jaeger. Interesting to see the Mute. A lot of teams haven't really been incorporating the Mute. The Pulse, we definitely expect to see playing in back armory. Pulsing up at the kitchen, seeing if he can maybe get a C4 here and there. On the attacking side, actually, one of Sledge was switched for Buck, and Crazy went on Habana, which was previously Mailman was Habana. So they did a little bit of switcheroo there. With this sort of lineup, we totally expect to see the Buck gonna go ahead and be bucking up kitchen, get that pulse from out of back armory,
Defenders,
and then
protect
they're
your
likely
bombs
gonna go
from
for
being
a kitchen
defused by
drop
attackers.
after maybe like faking for a church push. So maybe once they realize that the Buck is above, they might rotate around from church, maybe go forward. So we'll have to see exactly how they decide to set up. And there is no mirror, so we should see all 3 church walls reinforced. So pretty standard stuff coming up.
New camera feed up and running.
game sound was a little loud, but yeah, I completely agree. But it's a little interesting to me that they don't have a Mira. I really think Mira is pretty strong on the basement here. It can allow for a lot of intel. You can open that Mira up, get an easy C4 into the front doorway. So we'll see what their game plan is with this defense. They got one roamer so far in Atticus on Pulse. Gonna see what he does. The spawn is mostly north side on construction. They do have a Thermite and a Habana, like you said, so I'm interested to see if they go for this tunnel. Currently doesn't look like they are going to. Atticus still on the roam.
I don't expect to see the roam really trying to hold it down too hard. Usually if there is a roam, you're going to see him on main stairs, just trying to hold off from the drones. Really roaming on Clubhouse seems to be mostly ineffective due to the lack of rotation vertically. So, and just how easy it is to cut it off. I really don't expect to see too much. Looks like they are opening up Dirt Tunnel. Not exactly sure what they're trying to do. Maybe just try to apply some pressure on Dirt Tunnel. Just try to get the person out of there so that when they go for the kitchen drop, that they're not going to get wrecked from kitchen, or from tunnel, that is. They know once the tunnel is clear, all they have to do is just focus on the boxes and armory.
Looks like Thatcher going to go ahead and put the Claymore on the back of the blue tunnel, kind of standard hold. Of course, on defense, the only way to get rid of that would be to use a C4, so best placed Claymore, in my opinion, that you can put. 1:45, Pulse has made his way back down into Armory, going to be looking for that C4, Buck going for his openings to see if he can't see inside. Pretty much a common spot here. If you're a Buck player, you have to know these positions. And just as we move away from Thermite, Thermite picks up a kill on a Jonimal. Interesting name, I love it, Jonimal, but he goes down, so now that's no smoke. 5v4 in favor of Guilty Esports. 120 remaining. Thermite has control of Blue Tunnel. Thatcher has pushed down the front stairs. Gunfight going on upstairs. Mute takes out Crazy, but then Evil gets Demonic, and it's a trade right back and forth, but it's a 4v3 still in favor of Guilty Esports. Only 105 remaining. He's able to get down that Valkyrie camera. Not really the best place, but he does get it. Kind of just holding this hatch. Buck still opening to the top, trying to play that vertical game that we talked about. Thatcher going to go ahead and zone out. Thermite still sitting in blue, holding a tight angle. Going to sit with Pulse for a second. He knows he's there. He still has a C4. We're going to see if he can actually get the pickup on him. 45 seconds left, but no, he gets taken out from the side, and he wasn't even paying attention, and they don't have that wall reinforced, and Thatcher picks him up from the front stairs, so now it's a 4v2. pretty heavily favored, but they are going to get inside, get the bomb down. Vex gets a pick on Thatcher as he drops into the Moto, and then 9 with a double kill that round. Thermite gets another pick, and that one goes over to Guilty. And I'm going to be honest, that was a very clean executed round.
Yeah, definitely. You saw the trades coming out back on main stairs. I believe the Mute decided to get pretty aggressive in desperation, really trying to push up there and trying to get the kill. He did get one, immediately traded back. We saw the Thermite in tunnel. That's actually quite interesting. Usually you're going to want to see your Thermite after he opens up the tunnel, he'll go run off to open something else up. But instead, he pushed down into tunnel and was actually able to pick up the smoke. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm
What
not
on
sure how
earth
he
what
lost
happened
that
there?
battle. You're a
Yeah,
smoke,
that
you
is
should
a
never go
huge misplayer.
down.
Exactly, especially to a Thermite pushing down tunnel. Huge misplay in my opinion there. He definitely needed to be back more, use that barbed wire, play off that barbed wire that they should have in tunnel. I was at loss for words when I saw that. I was like, what is going on here? Like, how did he just get that? So I wasn't sure. Maybe Smoke just like ran up in a really like aggressive move. We're trying to play aggressive, getting the early picks, something that I definitely do not advise. Currently right now on defense, we do have a mirror. We'll see exactly how they decide to use them. One's actually going to be facing towards tunnel. What it looks like to be that they're going to play in blue is what it's looking out to be. Very interesting indeed. We expect to see a lot of barbed wire towards oil pit, try to prevent like a Blackbeard from pushing up there. Of course, there is no Blackbeard.
5 seconds left before insertion.
There is no barbed wire on
Yeah.
the oil pit hallway, on the blue hallway. That is super dangerous in my opinion. One little run up from a 3-speed and you're dead. There is a couple little barbed wire in tunnel.
Yeah, I'm a little curious on their positioning on their barbed wire. They have one under the hatch right here, but it's definitely better used because he can freely push up this, and if they get control of that blue, it's going to be very dangerous for the defense. I'm not sure that I agree at all with the way they're using that Mira. But all right, we are into it.
As it is now, Atticus actually droned it out. They realize, hey, they have 2 mirrors in there. The mirrors playing the mirrors. They have no barbed wire. Let's do something about it. Looks like they're going to get right into stock and go and open up and start immediately putting pressure on that. I definitely agree.
They just saw that Crazy Dog is sitting in the corner here, and I'm not even sure he saw he got spotted on drone. He gets some damage down, and on the backside, he's able to pick him up from the front. Demonic Hobo takes on Crazy Dog, and that is a very early pick, and that just can't happen. It's only 1 minute in. And it is now a 5v4 in favor of the attackers, which is NerVa. They did a very good job using the drone to get spot on him and pressure from both sides, and that's exactly how you utilize the drone game to clear out a player. Finally getting up in the bar hatch, 150 remaining, still 5v4.
Yeah,
looks like
too aggressive to be playing that roamer like that. Again, like we were saying, don't roam. It's not worth it.
Yeah, Clubhouse is pretty straightforward. You can turtle easily on this, and it's way more beneficial. No matter what you do on roam, you're ultimately going to die at some point or not be effective at all. But right now, we're seeing a potential battle between Thermite and Smoke, holding the tight angle. Both of them just holding tight, not pushing too aggressively. 115 remaining, still 5v4 in favor of NerVa. It is 1-0 in favor of Guilty Esports currently. Looks like we have a little bit of gun battle also going up top. He's in the meat on the backside, and of course, the moment that we switch away, Thermite picks up the kill onto Smoke, so Smoke is now down NerVa. That's 2 down. Vex gets Mailman. Jaeger, Twitch, and Smoke all down. 5v2, pretty much all but over. They're going to have to do some really good gun work to pick this one up, and Vex with the double kill. We saw a beautiful headshot on the Rook as he jiggle peeks the corner of Church looking into the hallway. All left onto Mira now. She's going to have to hold tight. I'm pretty sure she's going to lose this. 35 seconds remaining. Attackers finally getting in, putting the bomb down. 9 gets 1, does a good job right there, so that's 1 down. Now it's a 4v1 in favor. They have the bomb down. He gets the double kill. 9 doing a good job so far, bringing it a little bit closer to making this a clutchable situation. Demonic hanging down on the side of Armory, and that's the perfect angle he needed, and Demonic gets 9 at the end there, and it's all tied up 1-1. Pretty one-sided match except for the very end. I like how they executed their strat on that one, and it was a good job by Thermite picking up the smoke in blue tunnel. I think that's ultimately what opened up the free push in.
Yep, I agree. Unfortunately, that is kind of one of the disadvantages of putting that mirror in blue tunnel, is that you cannot help out with kitchen drop. So once that person in back armory gets pushed out and eventually will get killed, there's no way that you can help prevent a kitchen drop from getting in and getting a free plant. Of course, when you go for the plant, you are in a crouched position. You cannot get killed from behind those boxes. So that's why I didn't really agree, especially with the lack of barbed wire there, because I don't think they really did much in tunnel either. Unfortunately, smoke got
Attackers
taken
need
out
to
by
locate
thermite
and defuse
again.
bombs.
I don't know, it might have even been the exact same people, but again, Smoke cannot die that early. He cannot die like that. He needs to be the one smoking out the kitchen drop or smoking out the tunnel. You have to do one or the other. You can't just die to a thermite pushing tunnel, especially with barbed wire. Last we checked, he wasn't even getting thrown, so the thermite probably was just going to move of desperation. Probably just ran up there and shot him. Again, very, they need to really tighten up there because it's loose.
Yeah, I'll agree. You know, Smoke is one of those it's a common misconception because he has a lot of slaying power as a class, but he's pretty much like Thermite. You have to make sure that you're alive to do your job, and unfortunately, as a Smoke, that pretty much means staying alive till the very end. You know, situations become much more clutchable. If you have at least one smoke grenade, you're in sight, and there's 12 seconds left. You can smoke one, watch the other, so I'll agree that's a very pivotal. Getting the smoke down pretty much just allowed them to freely drop from the kitchen hatch. But all right, we are into round 3, all tied up, 1-1. Demonic playing a slight roam.
Interestingly enough, there has been a switch in operators. Last time we saw this attack, it was a buck. Now it's a sledge. Not sure why they decided to change it up. They knew they'd still be downstairs. So maybe they have something certain planned for that sledge to maybe run around, because there is also no pulse.
Thermite does a good job and hit Smoke once again. It hasn't even been 1 minute, Talon, and he is down. But although he takes him, Demonic does happen to get a trade back on their Thatcher. So it's tied up at 1-1, but you just can't lose your Smoke. And right there, Demonic gets the double kill on defense, and it's now a 4v3 in favor of NerVa. 145 remaining.
Yeah, I know that. Unfortunately, that is the sort of stuff that just cannot happen at all. Again, we did actually see a successful Jaeger roam or roam in kitchen, or not in kitchen, in garage. Interesting to see that he wasn't droned out properly. There wasn't enough droning in garage, so he was able to get in there. And of course, I believe the Thatcher was able to pay his life, and Jaeger is still alive. There's no trade that came off of that, so good job by Demonic for picking that up. He's still sitting in blue tunnel.
Yeah, it was a very good job by him. I like how he sneakily positioned himself up there. Of course, you know you can't get the drone up there. You have to get it from the other side of the stairs, so they didn't utilize the cash room because there is a drone slit up there. Great job by him to get the heads-up double play. Crazy has made his way into Moto. See if he can get any damage done. The other two sitting on the front stairs. He finally notices that there's a Valkyrie camera on him, so Valkyrie knows that he's here at 100%. Gonna see how they play this. It is a 4v3, 40 seconds remaining. Attacker's gonna need to make some push forward here. They're gonna have to get a pick on the push forward. Crazy does exactly that, and he gets the pick up on RTC with Demonic. Demonic doing great things, and that is a quadra kill for him so far this round. Or excuse me, a triple kill. And his roam game is very strong. It's 3v1, 20 seconds left, all left on Sledge. He flanks behind Valkyrie, gets the pick. He's going to be able to get behind Bar. Let's see if he can get the bomb down and play this. He still has a very good chance to win this. There is only 15 seconds left. They're going to be able to play it. He gets pushed and he doesn't have it reloaded, but he gets the pick, but no! Atticus gets it right back, and a tooth and nail round goes to NerVa, and they are now up for the first time in this game, 2-1.
Wow, very interesting. I could have sworn I could have swore that right as he got in there, he could have actually been able to get that bomb down. It looked like a very defensive-sided round from the get-go when Demonic was able to pick up a kill onto that Thatcher. Again, that round really came down to lack of droning. The Thermite was still in tunnel. They had no way to open up the back of church, so he ended up having to push down the main hallway, which, surprisingly enough, he didn't get punished for it. He was actually rewarded by able to shoot Valkyrie in the back, so they're definitely going to be a little bit tilted about that, but no big deal because they still ended up winning the round. But again, they need to really focus on their droning. Make sure that there is no roamers, because if there is a roamer, it's basically a free kill on this map. So they need to, pay more attention, be more heads up about what's going on, and they'll find more success in the future.
Pretty much hit that one right on the head. I'm interested to see what they do differently this round. You know, last round, they weren't able to hold this defense. Looks to me like they're going to set up identically, and I just do not like this setup at all. It doesn't really allow for much help. Let's see if they put their barbed wire in a different position to accommodate for the rush that was able to take them out last time. And again, Smoke just cannot die.
Yeah, I'm honestly, as a Smoke main myself, I'm kind of appalled to see all 3 rounds every single time Smoke dies. Like, at the very, you know, just give it up at that point. Like, you're too important. You know, throw a Jaeger or someone else in there. You know, sit back or an armory or do something other than sitting in tunnel right now. But if you are going to sit in tunnel, please use that barbed wire properly. Learn how to fall back when you need to. I think that barbed wire that's all the way up there, that's a little bit too aggressive of a barbed wire. They need to pull it back just a little bit. He's actually deciding to play this. We'll have to see if the attackers decide to punish him for being up so close, especially like right on that reinforcement. He does not need to be up that far.
Yeah, once again, I just don't agree. I think that he's playing this a little bit too aggressively. I will always play on the side of error when it comes to Rainbow Six Siege because that 0.001% can cost you a round. So safer on defense, especially as a priority class like Smoke, is more pivotal than an early pick that obviously he's not getting currently. They do get open the kitchen hatch though, finally. 2 minutes remaining, still 5-5. They have stock hatch open, and they have control of stock. They're going to be pushing toward the back of the garage. I'm going to assume he's going to be putting that Playmore like everyone does, of course. 1:45 remaining. Kind of a slow-paced round here. Thermite looking to drone him out. Still the battle that we see of every round so far.
It's a Thermite versus a Smoke battle.
Who will win? Thermite going to play a little bit aggressively. Last time we left them, this time we're going to stay locked in this epic battle. Call it the Clash of Titans.
Smoke has a laser. He has a laser, so if Thermite realizes that, he can actually look for the laser and go for the pre-fire. I don't think he realizes that there's a laser on that shotgun, though.
Let's stick with Thermite. He was the one who went under the 6th rage last time. Very slow creep. Only 1 minute remaining, but it's still 5-5 in round 4. He goes for the Smoke. He's looking to bait him out, and I think he's going to get him again, and I don't understand what Smoke is doing. Yes, you live till there's 1 minute left, but you didn't even use a smoke charge, and that just can't happen. Vex takes up Valkyrie. Valkyrie down. 9 gets the trade back, and Demonic Hobo's down. That's Sledge, but it is a 4v3 in favor of Guilty Esports. 45 seconds remaining. Rook holding tight in Church. Miras, fortunately, this time able to hold control of that blue and utilize those Miras. They're pushing down, and he doesn't see him squeak past, so now he's able to get in the side moto. He's still going to play this. They didn't reinforce this wall, so if Ash wants to, he can easily open it up, but Mira does a great job and takes out Vex, pushing through Church, and it's now a 3v3, but only 15 seconds left. Attackers are going to have to get in there and get the bomb down. Flash is coming out from Habana, going to push in. They have control of Armory. She's going to get the bomb down. Ash does a good job getting one pick, and they did exactly what they needed to. He pushes in, he gets Jonamo, gets another one, and I cannot believe it. That could have went so terribly wrong, but fortunately at the end there, they push through, they get the final trade, and it just like that, it's tied up again. Attackers doing a better job than defenders so far this game. Or excuse me, 3-1. Miss saw that one at the end.
Yeah. There's two key things that happened that round. One, the Smoke died to the Thermite again. Oh my goodness, not even using a smoke shard nonetheless. And two, Mira decided to hide. Honestly, they once Rook pushed through, called out that he killed the bomb planter, all Mira had to do was just hide, and they would have won the round. The time was ticking down very, very quickly. So I believe that if she had just held back a little bit, played for the post plant position, I think that it would have been a much better opportunity to win that round. So definitely, again, coming really close down to the wire. Looks like we will have a bar stock defense now.
Yeah, bar stock for the first time finally, and just to touch on what you were saying, this game is so team oriented, and one team that I want to bring up specifically because I think they do a phenomenal job of it is Ominous. They do a really good job of, whether it be attacker or defenders, being in position to get the trade. He got the bomb on the plant. It could have easily, if he would have played just a little bit more aggressively with his Rook, they could have traded out and they would have had that round and brought it back to a tie. But finally, for the first time, we are going to see the bar stock hold. They do have the barbed wire.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
The attackers should know, but they're not going to opt for a Montang. I'm going to assume that means it's going to be a stripper take. Thermite is working their way towards stripper already. And just like that, Habana is already in strip. So, pretty standard. They're just going to open up the pool wall. Not much you can do. I'm curious to see if they're going to put the time to clear up top. And Jaeger does a good job putting the pressure on the backside. And I love what he did there. He got the pick and he got out. He took some damage, but he did his job. And it's now a 5v4 in favor, of course, NerVa. 3-1 right now over Guilty Esports. We are on round 5. 2:20 remaining. Jaeger just going to flank all the way around.
Thermite. The Thermite's huge. The Thermite picked that early into the round, not even a minute left, or not even a minute down, and we've already taken out the Thermite, which is probably the main way that they were planning to get this wall open. Now they're being forced to use the Habanas. They can no longer get the hatch or whatever else they want to do with the Habanas. So very interesting indeed that he was able to push up with no one in White Hall to protect the people pushing into strip.
They were somehow...
A bit of a misplay.
Somehow they're able to get inside a bar free, though. Smoke is going to throw his smokes, but it's definitely a little bit too far. I'm pretty sure that I saw Crazy Spot, the guy that's sitting up on the stage. But they do have control. No one has the bomb, though. They're going to have to get that bomb inside. They are joining up top. Smoke busting his second smoke out, and he's able to force Crazy out of the corner, and just like that, RTC on Bandit takes him out, and now it's a 5v3. NerVa looking poised to take this round so far. 1:20 remaining. Ashabana and Thatcher, they do have the wall open, but they still don't have diffuser.
Very interesting indeed. They're not going for that diffuser, trying to put that pressure in. Also interesting to see that they did not open up the right side of the wall. They instead opted to open up the left side of the strip wall, making you have to go all the way around and expose yourself even more to people from behind those tables. A little bit of bullets coming out, not too much yet. Still, the diffuser is not in sight yet. They need to at least get it into sight, put some extra pressure down.
Playing for kills, but then you get taken out. RTC with the double kill, just playing in pretty much in the exact same spot, sitting up on those tables right in front of the stage. Excuse me, Crazy Dog finally able to take out Demonic after getting a double kill on Rome. There's only 30 seconds left. Vex does a good job on Smoke, and he takes out Habana. Everything left on Ash. Currently sitting outside of Moto. 20 seconds left. Guess it's going to opt for a drone. But it is 4v1. Pretty much a prayer going to be needed and answered. Watch as he pushes into the barbed wire. He's able to get some shots down, but Doc takes him out, being the anchor, that heavy tank. And it is now 4-1 in favor and match point for NerVa.
Yeah, I think honestly that round that really set them off their toes was that Thermite pick. Demonic was able to push right in. He was able to kill the Thermite off the very start of the round. They were probably going to be using that Thermite to open up that wall, maybe use the Habana to open up a couple of hatches. Instead, they put everyone out of position because they were not expecting that Thermite to die. So that really started off that round poorly for Guilty. So definitely need to make sure you get someone in that white hall. If they had even just opened up that white door and pretended like there was someone in there and, you know, made the illusion that someone was watching that door, Demonic might not have pushed up. Maybe they had a Valk cam in there saying, hey, there's no one in White Hall, get right up in there, you know, cause some freaks and havoc, whatever. And that's exactly what we saw. Now, it looks like, interestingly enough, they have switched to bar stock defense. They did not have to. I believe they did lose. Attackers won.
Correct.
So they decided to switch here on their own accord. So we'll have to see. Interesting use of the mirrors. They've decided to put a mirror on an unreinforced wall, which means it can get ashed. Get ashed and get destroyed. They can shoot out the mirror entirely.
Like I had mentioned before the game started, you know, they're newer teams, maybe a little less experienced, so I knew we would see some newer strats coming out. Still not quite sure that it was going to work for them. Interesting to see how this one plays out. We are in round 6, though. Match point in favor of NerVa, 4-1. Doing a fantastic job so far. Only a couple of the rounds were close. Been doing a very dominant job controlling the pace and tempo of this match currently. Looks like
so far, they're getting the pre-drones out for stock, or strip, that is. So we might be seeing something a little bit similar. Something that Guilty that failed to do was once their Thermite got picked, they failed to really adapt to that change, and they even had the Habana there, so the fact that they were unable to fully adapt and really keep going and try to regain momentum during the round, I think that's where NerVa really has the advantage here. I think that they have a little bit more set plan. They know exactly what needs to happen. White door's already open. They're really setting up to protect that thermite to get in there and get through that pool wall. So I think there's definitely a little bit of a difference in ability, individual player ability as well as overall team ability that we've been seeing for the last 5 rounds. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of an explosive take. We're not going to see a diffuser just kind of left out and stripped. I think the diffuser's going to get right in there. Even if he does die, at least the diffuser's in position.
And I like what they're doing here. They opted to go ahead and put the pressure from upstairs. That is a very, very powerful position to hold in gym. So good job by Habana. And like you said, a much more calculated take. They were able to keep Thermite alive. So now they have the wall open and a huge place to go inside. Demonic, though, doing a very good job. He gets the early pick. Atticus gets another one. Akaya, fortunately, able to get the pick back onto Demonic. But it is still 4v3 in favor of the attackers. And just like that, Habana, the hatch that we were talking about, that power position, able to get the double kill. And there's only 2 players left on the defenders. 1 tenant left in this game. Smoke's going down. They're going to push in. Thermite going for the plant. The plant's going to be successfully taken. Oh no, maybe not. 9 does a very good job throwing the C4 over the wall. And that was a well played by Mira. 50 seconds remaining, able to bring it back within 1. It's 3v2 in favor of Akaya, and Mira doing a good job. That's a double kill, and he brings it right back, but he's getting twitched down little by little, 10 by 10. He finally is able to take it out. Valkyrie has control of rear stairs, or rear stage. Ash did push inside, and a triple kill coming out for Mira. And Guilty hanging on strong, bringing it back there at the end of that round, and they did a very good job holding it. And it is now 4-2, and they're just right back in this.
Wow, very, very impressive. I believe that was a 2v4 situation, so the fact that Guilty was able to hold that great individual play by 9, getting that C4, getting the pick on Ash, getting a basically he did exactly what he needed to do. I think he also got the Habana up and above hatch, so huge play coming out from him to keep Guilty in this match.
Yeah, I think that
I think what we missed was there was a Jackal actually on attack. I'm not sure exactly why they wanted to run a Jackal, especially since they've been doing pretty good against the roam game. Guilty really didn't.
Defenders protect
they
your
weren't
bombs
used to
from being
roaming, like
defused by
they haven't seen
attackers.
roaming before. So the fact that they brought a Jackal kind of surprised me. When I saw that kill, then I realized I was like, hey, there's a Jackal going on here. Like, why? It seems to be a wasted pick. I don't know. Maybe they actually did predict that they were going to go bar stock, and they just wanted to make sure they found the person upstairs. However, the Rook was able to actually get a kill or 2 upstairs. So definitely a little bit of a wasted operator pick. So maybe that was one of the reasons why they ended up losing one person instead of it going into a 5v2 situation. It was a 4v2, which is definitely doable. So definitely interesting to see why that happened. We'll have to go back and look at it later.
Yeah, Jackal has a strong gun, but definitely doesn't offer enough unless you're terrified of the roam, which, like you said, hasn't really been hurting them too bad this game. Fairly dominant when it comes to clearing that out. They're playing either turtle or they die pretty much right away. But we are back downstairs. It is still match point, but it's 4-2 now in favor of NerVa. 2:30 remaining. Just getting into this round. They finally have control of stock. Gonna go ahead and get that hatch open. They have eyes on kitchen, but they haven't currently pushed in. Still just kind of droning out and getting the feel for it. They are inside of stock completely, so they're gonna open that hatch up easily.
Bomb located by attackers.
They're very, very worried about that roam. They got punished. Demonic punished him last time. I think he is actually upstairs and cached this time as well. So we'll have to see if they are actually able to drone it and find it. Yep, he is definitely up in cache right now. I believe that he has been droned. That's why Crazy's coming up with the sledge.
He does a good job. He actually gets the pickup. I thought Sledge was going to get that exchange, but Demonic takes him out. Akaya just a little bit late. If he would have applied that pressure, I'm saying 10 seconds earlier, they would have gotten that trade easy. That's one of those things that you have to do. You have to coordinate those pushes, and that would have went in their favor. So good job by Demonic and bad job by Guilty, they're going to have to go back and look at that one at the end. But they did finally use Thermite to open up the blue tunnel in Talon. The epic battle that we're seeing all day. Thermite versus Smoke. Who will win this time? He is opting to play it from a little farther back, though. Smoke coming out very early, only 2 left.
Yeah, he wants to make sure he wins this battle. Honestly, at this point, I say go for it. If this was a Pro League match, if this was top tier level play, I'd be like, hey, why are you using a smoke that early? You still have 2 barbed wire there. Like, what gives, man? But at this point, that we've been seeing Smoke die time and time again, just do something. Use those smokes.
Crazy Dog, though, on Ash gets to pick up onto Demonic on Rome, so Jaeger's now down. Smoke did finally fall all the way back into sight, but he might be able to catch him on a rotate. Atticus luckily gets behind the small box. Thermite did a good job taking him down below half health, though, probably sitting around 40-45%. Drones coming into blue. It is a 4v4 situation, but only 35 seconds left. A lot of time eaten up. Crazy able to get inside of the blue tunnel. He's looking for a pick, but he doesn't see anyone. Akaya gets 1. 9 gets 2. It's a 4v2 in favor, and Guilty trying to bring it back to 1 closer. They do a good job. So hard to follow the action. Crazy Dog ends up with a double kill, and 9 on Thermite gets the final pick to win it for them. And 1 more round, and it'll be into overtime, doing a very good job making the mid-game adjustments that they need to bring it back. It's still 4-3, though, in favor of NerVa.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm very impressed. We were just at a 4-1 scoreline, and all of a sudden now we're at 4-3, and it's looking more and more possible that Guilty is able to send it out into overtime and might even take back and see it come back. This would be a very, very dominant performance if they were able to, again, make those adjustments like you were saying and come back from a 4-1 deficit. That round, again, Smoke he lost control of that tunnel, and I think that was one of the big reasons why Guilty was able to take up that round. They had those 2 barbed wire there, but we're not seeing the Smoke play it with a shotgun. We did see him go out and throw a smoke grenade. However, he didn't keep pressuring that. Like, he didn't keep applying pressure. That is a battle that you have to take there. Like, that smoke is either going to win or die in that tunnel usually. So again, go ahead, just use your smokes. Again, we're not at Pro League level. Just put him down and keep him out. Because if you can't keep him out, then Atticus could have died really quickly. Honestly, if he wasn't a rook, he would have definitely died if he was a 3-speed 1 armor. So I'm not exactly sure why they're giving up control of that tunnel so much, because tunnel is such a crucial part of that armory attack. Dropping in from kitchen, we did see 2 drop into blue. I believe Havana was able to go ahead and run out there. So I definitely need to see them being more aggressive in tunnel, but being aggressive but smart at the same time.
Twitch is actually doing a pretty good job. He's gotten 30 damage onto Valkyrie. Hello, everybody. How are we doing on this fine evening? I am your host for the first game, Fluffy. With me today is Talon. First game is NerVa versus Guilty eSports. Guilty eSports was formerly known as Afflicted. Just first and foremost, want to say thank you guys for stopping with us, hanging out today. I'm really excited to get this underway. I think the first order of business that we have here is Talon. How are you doing? For some reason we can't hear Talon. Give me 1 moment. Not sure what's going on there, but in the meantime, what I'm going to go ahead and do for you guys, I think that they're going ahead and going through the pick ban phase. All right, there you are. I think I had it muted on a desktop. Okay. All right, and hello, everybody. How are we doing on this fine evening? I am your host for the first game, Fluffy. With me today is Talon. First game is NerVa versus Guilty eSports. Guilty eSports was formerly known as Afflicted. Just first and foremost, want to say thank you guys for stopping with us, hanging out today. I'm really excited to get this underway. I think the first order of business that we have here is Talon. How are you doing? some reason we can't hear Talon. Give me one moment. Not sure what's going on there, but in the meantime, what I'm going to go ahead and do for you guys, I think that they're going ahead and going through the pick ban phase. All right, there you are. I think I had it
There we
muted on
go,
a
okay, yeah.
desktop. Okay. All right, and we're going to go ahead and roll out the pick ban phase to start with, Talon. And I don't know, what do you think is going to go ahead and happen? I mean, these are two fairly new teams. Guess now we know.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to tell and to really predict what we're going to see. However, I do expect, since they are newer teams, like you were saying, we might be seeing very standard maps. Usually teams that are new aren't very comfortable on the off maps, especially maps like, coastline, skyscraper, stuff like that. So I totally expect to see some really basic stuff. Looks like the first band coming out, Bank. Not really surprised there. Bank's not really in the meta in the NA scene yet, so definitely not surprised we see that coming out from Guilty.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit heavier on the strategic side. It requires a lot of time. You have to put the time in to really know that map. It's a very heavy team favorite map, so I can understand why they would board it. Looks like the next one is going to be Border.
Border, that's interesting
That's
though.
definitely an
Border seems to
interesting
be
ban.
it's we see it time and time again recurring in the last 2 or 3 months. Border has become a favorite between a lot of teams to be, one of the new clubhouse almost. So it's very interesting that they're going to go ahead and ban it the very first time. Usually if you're going to do a meta ban, like if you're going to ban a map that's considered meta, then you're going to want to wait till the end to really do that and try to see if the other team wants to ban it first. But we'll see. Maybe they're just not comfortable with it at all.
Yeah, an unusual ban. A lot of people are going to play Border. It seems to be more of the comfort pick here in North America. But right afterwards, Skyscraper. Skyscraper's still fairly new, honestly. Not surprising that it's
Yeah,
banned. Not a lot of
we've
people
really
playing
been
that.
seeing. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We really haven't been seeing anyone besides like the top pro teams, playing it,
Yeah.
just because no one really has the time to learn. It's a very interesting map, very vertical, lots of vertical play that a lot of teams still have yet to figure out. So I'm totally, not really surprised to see that. What do you think is going to be banned next out of NerVa?
I'm not sure. Honestly, if you look at what's left, I could see Cafe, Coastline was going to be the next one I stated. Coastline again, very new map, and it's almost like Skyscraper in a sense that it's vertical, but it's very intricate map. There's a lot of little places that you have to worry about, and actually they're very large in size. If you don't have a strong counter roam game or a strong roam game yourself, I would understand why you would like to eliminate both of those maps.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Because again, Coastline with the map pool being 9 maps, it's going to be impossible to learn every single map, every single angle.
Right.
Coming out next, we have Consulate from Guilty. Consulate has been one of those maps where it's like a 50-50 between if teams are going to want to play it or not. It seems like Guilty has been banning a lot of these verticals, like Bank, Skyscraper, Consulate. They're all
Right.
very vertical
Yeah,
maps.
I'd agree.
So I can totally see maybe they're just not as comfortable. Maybe they have some like Xbox players. Yeah, I don't really know, but I'm not surprised we see that. Maybe next out of NerVa we might see Cafe or even Clubhouse. Maybe some of these teams are aiming for Clubhouse. It seems to be. So maybe they really just started forming when Clubhouse was still a thing. So
Yeah, I could definitely
I'm
see
not surprised
Clubhouse
we see
coming
that.
out today. But again, NerVa, if you look at their bans, they're almost a little bit random, so it's hard to tell. Not a lot of people are going to play Cafe, so it makes sense why it was banned. I expected it to come out at least at some point. And then you have your standard for the remainder. Interesting. So Guilty, they're not going vertical. So what do you think their first pick will be?
I'm not exactly sure,
Chalet's
honestly.
still on the
If they
board.
want to go over, honestly, yeah. So we have Chalet, Club, and then what is the third that we're missing? Let's take a look at
Off
the
the
map
top of
pool
my
here.
head. It always happens, I guess. Oregon, that would be the final map.
Oregon.
So you have to think that
Honestly,
they're
I
probably
expect to
not going to want to
see.
pick the vertical map in Chalet. So I would assume that won't be Guilty's pick.
I'm gonna say Guilty's gonna go okay. Well, they're gonna go Clubhouse. NerVa's probably gonna go Oregon, and then last is probably going to be Chalet for the tiebreaker. We'll have to see what comes up. Clubhouse, again, very meta map, especially Season 3 Pro League. Tons of plays on map on
Yeah, you know,
Clubhouse.
we're not using glass here, but you still got to. And we are back. We're about to get back into this action. Currently 1-0 best of 3 series in favor of NerVa. Of course, this is their first game. It's game day 2 basically, but it's still week 1 action here. And that was a pretty exciting game 1, and I am ready for game 2. I'm pretty sure they're already ready to get underway, and we're going to start it back up. Oregon. Love Oregon. Personal favorite map for me. Outside of Border.
Yeah, Border and Oregon are the two favorites right now. So on Oregon, I definitely expect to see a heavy Mira play. Except, what is this Caviera? Hello? Are we getting trolled? I feel like Demonic's trolling us.
Feeling a little trollism. Hopefully it's not a face painted troll, Talon, because Caviera, you know.
Looks like they might need a rehost, but yeah, maybe it is a troll because maybe they forgot to switch sides.
All right,
Yeah,
it looks like we're going to be a quick rehost. But if you want to, while we're getting them back into it, why don't you just go ahead and touch on Oregon, maybe like, you know, common ways to take things, how you think that you can counter them on defense, things of that nature.
Yeah, for sure. So we heavily expect to see Mira on both sides, honestly, especially on that downstairs site. You know, not only you can put Mira in meeting, but you can also, what the standard thing is to do, put them in closet. You know, play the closet with either smoke or the Mira there, and then once the attackers go for the plant, you know, just go and throw a C4, throw a smoke grenade or something to help deny that plant and maybe get a little bit of pre-fire action in from people coming down main stairs or get free information on people dropping. Of course, there is no glass. You're not going to be able to see a smoke and drop, so it's going to be very much more genuine gameplay coming out. So with the Mirror, definitely expect to see a lot of pre-firing going on. And then upstairs, some people will put the Mirrors on the master side upstairs and then maybe towards kids. So a lot of different teams do a lot of different setups, especially on the upstairs. As for the attackers, honestly, it really comes down to pushing that person or at least neutralizing that person in closet, either using a capital or just bonding the wall straight up and then making sure no one's in laundry to try to encounter that. And of course, making sure you just cover all the angles when you're attacking downstairs in laundry, making sure you watch hallway, you watch your flank, you watch laundry. There's so many different things that need to be watched, but as long as you do everything that needs to be done, it's fairly straightforward and simple attack.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Oregon as a map is like you said, it's so diverse. There is a lot of different ways to accomplish the same goal, especially with the introduction of Hibana and Mira. Those two classes specifically changed this map entirely.
Completely. So far right now, we do have that Capital, as I was saying, coming up. That's a huge counter going. That's also the initiator. Capital has really seen his usage decline between the Invitational and the current meta, especially in the Pro League, due to his removal of his grenades. He used to have grenades, so a lot of teams like to use those, especially to clear barbed wire. But instead, now he's being used more focused on his bow and arrow instead of his nades, and so you see those fire arrows being used as an initiator and as like a one-time assault or attack
Defenders,
usage.
protect your bomb
So making sure no one's
by
like in laundry, likely they're gonna put a mirror on that closet as you see now, and then you can actually flame out that closet and try to push that mirror back, and then you can also flame off laundry to make sure no one's there trying to shoot. If you're trying to open up that mirror with the Habana, shoot the Habana down from the hatch. Try to open up the mirrors there. Interesting that we're seeing both reinforcements being used. No, maybe they decided to cancel. It looks like at one point they were going to be using both their mirrors there if they were deciding to reinforce it. Because if you reinforce both sides, you're going to need both mirrors there, but I think they decided against it. Looks like we'll be seeing a meeting hold with that castle putting his castle on that front door. So maybe expect to see 2 or 3 of the operators, maybe Bandit, Jaeger, and maybe even Castle, up to 3 people trying to really play in that upstairs meeting, trying to hold it, maybe get up in bridge. And some teams will even opt to put a mirror up there. Interesting to see that we haven't reinforced the wall by garage. That is a huge key. It looks like it is coming out now a little bit late. If the attackers realized that they could have decided to punish it, if they just rushed it, we will see that mirror there. The hatch is already being open though, so they realize, hey, they're going to be playing up in meeting. What are we going to do? So let's see if they decide to open up some of the castles and try to get their angles in there. So far, I think they're just now formulating how they want to attack it.
They were able to get themselves into that classroom quickly, got a shot on over to Bandit, who was sitting in the bathroom. But honestly, the exchange went way in favor of 9. I don't think he took any damage whatsoever. He is going to escape up into that attic. And like you said, just a full meeting hold. Crazy Dog kind of trapped, though. They don't have a hole for him to get out, so it's going to be interesting to see how they push to take care of him. They should be able to get this no matter what. And a grenade comes out, he's able to push past it, but there was a hole in the bathroom. Johnimo gets the pickup, and now this is the first kill down. It's 145 left. It is 1 player down in favor. Excuse me, now after that kill, he has a double kill, and that's a 2-kill lead. 5v3, 140 left, and it's looking poised. And like you said, Capital going to come in big to get those final operators. Is going to go ahead and flame off maybe laundry and the closet, see what they can do. Unfortunately, a little bit of a self-flash. Odd way to push in, and he's able to get through. Crazy does a good job on the flank and gets one from that open Mira, bringing it 1 closer. It's a 4v3 still in favor of NerVa.
So far, a little bit of back and forth action. They still have yet to open up this mirror, though. I think both the fire arrows have been used, so I don't think they used it correctly. A little bit more arrows action coming out. They're just not using the fires. I think there was a misfire there, or maybe it just hit the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Oh, Smoke doesn't realize that he had a pre-placed smoke grenade, but it got taken out somehow. He's able to get some damage down, and he does get a pick from the hallway onto Atticus, but then on the roam on the backside, Akaya gets one, Crazy gets another one, and they're getting killed from the flank. Lucky there was a Claymore there. They do have bomb down, but it's all left up to Ash. She's currently sitting in meeting, uses her final Ash charge. She knows that they're going to be pushing up toward her, doesn't look at the main stairs, and a good job by the flank game, and a bad job by them to be aware of their flank. That round's gonna go over to Guilty Esports.
Right in that initiation, like I said, using that Capital. I think he missed his arrow. I think it ended up hitting the shelving that you're seeing right in front of the smoke right now. I think that if he was able to land that smoke, maybe the smoke would have been more suppressed. His pre-placed smoke grenade was probably taken out by that Thatcher as they were trying to get the hatch open. That's why now as more people start to run that Thatcher on Oregon, I definitely disapprove of any pre-placed smoke usage. Back in maybe season 1 and 2, it might have worked because not as many people ran that Thatcher. No one really knew how to put the mute tricks down, and it didn't quite get the meta didn't quite get developed enough. So that still kind of worked. But now that the Thatcher is really starting to get into the swing of things, pre-placed smokes are going to get taken out because they know tons of ADSs are usually going to be there trying to protect barbed wire. So just go ahead, use an EMP there, and take everything out all at once. And so if that had resulted in the fire arrow being able to land, and he would have gotten pushed further back into the closet, and he would have been forced to open up that mirror, or just not be able to throw a smoke grenade entirely, they might have been able to more easily get that bomb down and watch for the retake a little bit more. As you were talking about, as it was happening, there was a flank that came out that was able to get, I believe, 1 or 2 people entirely. Ash kind of got caught out of position trying to deal with that flank as well, so she kind of took some damage opening up that castle, double castle themselves. So very interesting round there. Both teams are going to have to clean it up. Mistakes were made on both sides. Right now, we do have a Caviera on screen. So again, that was not a troll from Kobo just because they messed up the sides. No, this was indeed a pick. Very interesting. This is super dangerous position that he's playing right now with no impacts to really get that rotate, just trying to get all of the barbed wire that they can. You know, one quick drone into this dining room and he's done, you know. So I don't really like the positioning. I would have liked to have seen him more upstairs. Only one drone on this side of the map, and that's going to actually be up on the second floor, so he might just get a little bit lucky. I don't think this sort of play would have worked against a better team. However, seeing as how they're droning the second floor first, maybe it'll work out in the long run. Looks like Akaya is actually, looks like he might have just missed him on that drone there on the first floor that was through there. So he might be able to get a nasty flank off in the end because they were being a little bit too lazy on their drones.
If you remember, Demonic was the sole roamer on the other map, so although Caviera is an odd pick, it makes sense that he is on roam. Maybe it kind of plays to his playstyle, but there is only 2 minutes left. A full minute has been played. Still a 5v5. Currently, they droned out completely upstairs, and Ash is in. Rest of them still kind of just taking their time, but look at this aggressive play by Sledge. He has made his way all the way down into the hallway. He's going to use his grenades for that barbed wire, and then Sledge has opened the wall. Very intriguing to see what he's going to do. They're pretty spread out on the attacker side. Capitao has control of the kitchen. I do love their use of the droning. They just keep droning, and they're actually pushing people with their drones, which is precisely how you're supposed to do it. So good job by them. They have full control. And right as we switched away, Ash does a good job taking out Demonic. Like you said, not a very safe place to play when you have no kind of camera or pulse or anything to rotate. So easy pick for them. 5v4 in favor of NerVa.
Yeah, being a little bit too aggressive there, coming out with the Caviera. Interesting play, and it would have been huge if it worked out, but unfortunately, it's just too much of a risk to really pull out, which is why you're never really going to see a lot of the Pro League teams trying to play it. Looks like the Habanas will go out. They will be able to open up that mirror. Interesting to see that there's no one in laundry trying to shoot those Habanas, but looks like they got lucky, and they didn't have to use those Capitao arrows. So maybe get some free arrows usage later on in the round.
Mira does know that Sledge is here. He's still going to try to play and dance with the devil, but it looks like Smoke gets a pick, but he gets one right back. Excuse me. That's a double kill for NerVa. Crazy Dog gets the trade back. NerVa gets 3 in a row, and Crazy gets a trade back and forth, and it's still just a 2v2. 20 seconds left, and he had a beautiful push, but he misses a shot. Crazy with the double kill. It's now a 1v2 situation, but no. He's able to do a very good job at the end getting that trade. And NerVa, which I didn't originally think that was going to be their round, they got the push and they were able to secure it. Looks like, I believe, 2-0.
Operator pick. Unfortunately, it was immediately a 5v4 right off when the round started in prep phase. You get that Caviera out of there, and unfortunately, it's a wasted pick. So I don't advise. I mean, if you want to try a roam, sure, go for it. But I wouldn't really waste it on a Caviera. You know, use that Jaeger or something else other than a Caviera, maybe even a Castle or something.
Bulk.
You know, Pulse, yeah. You know, sit the Pulse inside of bathroom or something, so that way maybe even reinforce it. You know, really force them to use a lot of utility trying to get you. You know, even if they have to waste 2 or 3 grenades or maybe even a Habana or 2, that would definitely be worth it in my opinion. So now we see the scoreline. You know, 2-0. You know, NerVa's really starting, or Guilty is really starting to pick it up now. A lot different start than what we've seen last game. So we'll see how NerVa decides to switch it up.
Last game was fairly dominant in favor of NerVa. This one in favor of Guilty. They're doing a very good job changing the trend. I like how they didn't allow the map loss to get them down, so they are doing a very good job coming together on a team. Maybe they had some kind of pep talk or rally. in between rounds, but I do like what I'm seeing from them. We are currently on
5
round
seconds
3.
insertion.
If you guys weren't with us earlier, excuse me, game 1 was on Clubhouse, and that one went over to NerVa 5-3. This is play day 2 in our week 1 matchups for the CCS Cyber Athlete Championship Series. Let's see how they're going to take this. Sledge opting to early enter into the tower. Now Crazy is on roam once again with that Jaeger. And Mira's also in the kitchen. Gonna be interesting to see what they do here. They have the Mira on their backside. It's looking a little antsy. They're gonna play 3 heavy on this side, and they're gonna be
my
denying
goodness.
completely. They clearly do not want to be taken out from underneath.
I agree. This is definitely some Season 3 stuff, except there's no pulse. Usually you'll like to put that pulse there in kitchen so that way if they decide to hop in kids' windows, you can get them from underneath with that C4, but we're not going to see that this time. So again, they're just trying to probably go for a lucky C4, especially because there's no Valkyrie to get the free pings off. So not exactly sure what the purpose is of this downstairs hold other than to just waste time and to try to maybe even get a couple of free picks. But we'll have to see if it ends up working for them in the end. I don't think it will.
Nine does a
However,
good job on the backside. It looks like he was trying to rappel up to the kids, and Bandit does a very good job taking the second level of tower and getting that kill. And then Crazy on Mira gets a pick over to Vex, so now that's Blackbeard and Thatcher down. Blackbeard, you just can't die when you're on that A window. And just like that, Guilty again with the pick. Sledge taking out Atticus, who was playing Thermite, so now they have no entry power. It's all up to Sledge and Ash, still dancing with that kitchen, so it looks like that Strat does a very good job. Johnimo gets one back on them. He's still dancing with the guys sitting on Mira. It is a 4v2, 115 remaining. Ash tries to go around the side, but Jaeger gets the pick using that Mira. No flank there, all in favor of Johnimo, and he has been doing a very good job slaying today. Went for some pre-fire, wasn't able to get it, and Crazy Dog gets a double kill at the end. And that round, of course, going over to Guilty. They're up 3-0.
All right, this is where if I was NerVa, I would definitely be starting to worry because that round really came to pick after pick after pick on the form of Guilty. And when that sort of round happens, it can just be so demoralizing when you know you're just getting out-peaked and you're getting killed from these crazy angles you're not even thinking of, such as big tower. You know, they really need to start, you know, cranking down on their attacks, making sure they drone properly. They make sure there's no roamers, and if there are roamers, they need to start trying to work together a little bit more. They did have the kitchen hold come out, so I would have liked to see a Habana take out that Mira because that Jaeger sitting there on there really killed him. You know, honestly, just over and over again, just trying to fight it back and forth with Crazy Dog. So they needed to really try something. You know, I think Sledge originally tried to nade him, but then missed. You know, if that nade might have landed, maybe he would have gotten lucky. However, in Rainbow Six, you really can't rely on luck too much. You really need to try to make sure you cover all your bases, and you really go through the rounds to make sure that you're doing the right thing at all times. Because when you try to cut those corners, stuff like that's going to happen. You're going to get too caught up. Another thing that I think happened to them is that they were just so split up. They're trying to do so many different things. They're trying to get someone up on kids window. They're trying to push someone into master. They're trying to take kitchen control. Like, you're doing 3 different things all at once when in reality you can really only do one and maybe a half of those things. You know, you really can't push into master unless you have the proper coverage, unless you get someone into armory. You can't try to get up on kids' windows unless you have the proper coverage in big tower. So I don't even know what the heck he was thinking there. And you can't really take kitchen unless you have the proper drones and the proper utility usage there either. So you have, these 3 different people, 3 different forces all split up, and NerVa you're not that sort of team yet. You really cannot afford to be doing that. And even the top level teams you're not going to see them getting split up so much. At most, they might be multitasking with 2 things, trying to take 2 things at once. But even though there really wasn't that many drones coming out from kitchen, I think, or to attack kitchen, that is, I think there was a lot of self-droning going on, but not a whole lot of, one droning for another in that sort of round. So they definitely need to clean it up. And we'll be looking for the change coming out in the future. And again, like you said, it is a 3-0 scoreline. So this is where NerVa really starts to sweat.
Yeah, this is that high pressure round. And at the end of the round, when they were trying to get the guy out of kitchen, it looks like they were going to push Ash on the backside. But the problem was they didn't have a drone and they didn't push together. So pretty much that just killed them. But it is already been 1 minute in play. Not a whole lot of action, just some droning coming out. They finally have entered inside of the building. They have control of upstairs. And it looks like Demonic, of course, their solo roam. He's finally been droned out in the small tower, but he does have control of it. Gonna see how they push this together as a team. They're gonna want to put another drone down. And he's getting spammed through a wall, so a good job by the Capitao. Pretty much just trapped in the corner, and ultimately, that's just a place that you don't want to be as a solo roam. There's no way out. There's no way to do anything. So bad job by him, and a good job, again, by Guilty Esports.
Attackers recovered.
1:15 remaining in this round. First smoke has been thrown, and the second smoke has already been thrown. Kind of a silly use of the smoke, but I can understand it, I suppose. They do have meeting control. Habana doing a good job getting the hatches open. Now they're going to decide to use the one on the side electric room and not the one for the hallway. See how that affects them. In the midst of that, we missed a down, but he does get the pickup. So it is a 5v4 in favor of Guilty. 50 seconds remaining. The smokes are finally coming in. Ash does drop down inside, but Bandit says, I don't think so, and gets the kill. Sledge trying to peek the hallway. They still have that mirror, and Bandit once again gets the double kill. Vex on the backside gets one. Sledge throws a grenade, and it does get Bandit, so he gets one back, but it's now a 3v2 in favor of the defenders, so good job by them to switch it back. 29 seconds remaining. Vex, he goes down, so potentially a 2v2, but Atticus picks up Crazy. It's now a 2v1, and he pretty much is all but dead. 1 health. Not going to believe he's going to be able to get this pick, but he's going to do his best. 15 seconds left. Going to have to make a push forward. Getting the easy pick on the previously downed player. Not much he's going to be able to do here as time expires. And just like that, NerVa picking up their first round here on Oregon in map 2. It is now 3-1 in favor of Guilty.
Yeah, so that round, again, like you were saying, honestly, that Jaeger Demonic really got stuck in small tower. There was one way out. You were saying there's really no way out, but I do think that there was one option, one desperate option. He could have ran up the stairs and tried to run across into, dorm's main, but that's
only
a far-fetched
option.
one, especially. Yeah, that is your only potential.
And you're gonna be spotted.
Do.
So at that point, you just kind of have to pick the lesser of the two evils. He went for the kill, which actually no, he didn't went for the kill. He just kind of hit in the corner. At that point, he should have at least pushed the hallway, tried to challenge a little bit. You don't want to just sit there and die. So.
Yeah, again, I really disagree with any sort of roam over in that side of the map. There's no way to rotate. There's no way to get reinforcement. There's no way to get help. At the most, maybe up in meeting and bridge. Even playing up in kids and dorms is really kind of difficult nowadays. So they really need to start scaling back what they're trying to do with that roam game. Really try to bring it in more focused. Of course, they still won that round. I think that Guilty they got a little bit too aggressive once they got that kill. I think they started dropping too many people in the back, and they started forgetting what the main objective is to get that plant down on A site. It really, especially with that mirror on facing towards rear stairs, I really doubt that you're going to get that much of the use out of dropping 2 people back there, especially if you're not just going to go ahead and mirror. And if you're not going to put the mirror, or you're not going to use the Habanas to get rid of that mirror on the watching the back stairs, I really think that it's a wasted use of forces instead of just sending down reinforcements down main stairs, trying to get that plant off. Again, we did see those 2 smokes get used off at like just before the 1 minute mark, so they could have just waited out the smokes. They could have waited out the C4s. If they really want to put rear pressure on, then yeah, sure, you can put one guy in the rear, in the back. However,
Demonic
both was a little too much.
Demonic rushed right in through the armor. He pushed down the front stairs, and he caught him off guard. And that is Jaeger down already, only 40 seconds into the game. He was able to get the pickup on him as he tried to escape into the Master, so very good job by them. I was looking at Mira. Mira looked a little confused. Not until recently did she put down her first Mira, and she still hasn't placed the one in the standard pantry downstairs, the closet. Demonic with a double kill, doing heavy frag work for his team. He already has a double kill this round. So very good job by him. 150 remaining. It is 5v3 in favor of NerVa. 3-1 currently in favor of Guilty Esports, though. Standard droning coming in. Looks like they're going to play for the attic and opt to open up the hatch facing the hallway, which I think is definitely a crucial part of pushing down the stairs.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
With only 1 minute and 30 left, with already 2 picks out on the board, this is definitely NerVa's round to take. They really need to be trying to use those Habanas, try to get that person out of laundry, use those Capital's the way it should. However, there is a plant already coming down behind the veil of smoke. This is actually very huge.
Yeah, I can't
that
believe
already
it.
got it down.
He
They had
did
no
the same
idea.
thing last time whenever they were at the basement. He smoked off the mirror, jumped down the hatch, and ran to that spot. I've never seen anyone actually try that strategy. I guess it's working out for them this game because they do have bomb down. RTC just pre-firing because the smokes are all over it, so they don't really have much vision. The fire arrows went down, so I like the use and the adjustment there. Akeya was able to get a pickup onto Demonic and take out their fragger. He gets 2. But he finally gets down. It's all on the Mira, and of course she's just going to go to punch it. And just like that, NerVa is right back in this, taking their second round, and it's now 3-2.
Yep, looks like they really took that pressure round in stride. They took that first round, and now they've taken the second round. So they're really trying to push back. They don't want to take this to Chalet. They really want to win it in a 2-0 fashion. So I really definitely agree. They didn't let it get to their heads, and they're staying a little bit more calm. Of course, we'll be now seeing kids' dorms. Looks like it's all pretty standard here. Blackbeard, Mira, pretty usual stuff. Again, the Jaeger on the roam last round. I'm not exactly sure what the point of it was. Capital ran up the main stairs and shot him. You need to be holding some sort of angle, some sort of position that you're not just going to get caught out like that 20 seconds into the round. So they really, if they are going to be running that roam game, they need to really support it more. Both teams, honestly, because we've seen, Demonic, he's just been off by himself, 0 support. I don't think he even had any Valkyrie cams or anything trying to help him, no barbed wire, nothing. That round, Jaeger was just up in master. He had no barbed wire. He might have had a cam, but it was someone on that cam. So they really need, if they're going to be trying to play these very individualistic solo roam styles, they need to support it even more. Because a lot of teams like to think, oh, hey, look, that one Pro League team, they just kind of sent that one guy out there back in season 1 and it worked. Well, guess what? They weren't just sending that one guy out there. They were actually supporting him. Right. They were actually enabling him to get those kills that he was getting. So I think they really need to adjust what they're doing, readjust their strategy, and rethink how they want to try to play these sort of solo roams.
Yeah, as a roamer personally, your number one priority is to just eat as much time as humanly possible. If you're roaming a map and you can get it down below 1 minute and you get a trade or you would die, but you can at least get it to 1 minute, you have done your job. Your job isn't necessarily to pick up all the kills and be the flashy fragger. Your job is to support your site players so they don't have to do all the work. So they're definitely going to have to rethink how they do their roam game. I would probably opt, if I was them, to go for a turtle with the lack of success they're having. But currently, it's been already 40 seconds in this round. They're taking control of back tower, leading me to believe they're going to be trying to go for a kid's take. Of course, you have to have control of that tower to make sure that no one is watching it in attic if you're going to repel on those windows. Blackbeard finally coming up on small tower, going to do Blackbeard things and just sit on this A big window. Everything else pretty standard. Looks like Sledge is going to try to play an angle from the tower into
Bomb located by attackers.
the kid's bedroom, but Mira doing a good job just sitting in the middle right here. Pretty much everyone over on that side of the map for them. And he didn't see him, but we saw him. Bandit on the backside standing up on those sandbags. That gives you the vantage point that you need, so I really like the way he did that. So big pickup because Ash is already down. It's 1 minute and 35 left. They do finally get the backside open, and Bandit takes the second pickup. They're finally able to get the trade on the backside, but he already did enough damage to do some work. It's a 4v3 in favor of NerVa. NerVa getting the big momentum swing, and then NerVa, Demonic, he takes down 9, and now it's a 4v2. Crazy gonna push through the attic, gonna go for the nade. He knows he's there. Looks for the pre-fire, doesn't get any shots down. Mailman does a good job. He gets the pick on the kid's window. Attica's sitting right outside of White Stairs. Let's see which side he pushes on. Right now it is a 3v2 in favor of NerVa. They have droned in. They know Valkyrie is in small dorms, excuse me. Atticus gets a pick on Mailman. Demonic gets a pick on Crazy. Double kill for him, and that round goes over to Guilty. Or excuse me, to NerVa. So they brought it back. It's all tied up now, Talon 3-3. And wasn't it once 3-0? The momentum switch.
Yeah, completely. Honestly, this is a huge show coming out for Guilty now. Really not seeing the continued momentum. I think as soon as NerVa got that one round, NerVa settled down, maybe the nerves calmed down. They're able to bring it back 2 more rounds. Last round we saw a huge play by that Bandit was definitely a great pickup for NerVa, especially putting that on that 5v3 situation, and really keep working down those numbers there. One thing I'd like to note is that bandit, was not a roam. That was more like an extended sight hold and more just like extending out the sight. So while it might like the initial illusion would be that was a roam, that's more of just sitting in one spot, really trying to extend it and hold it as long as possible. Again, those do like the same exact thing as a roam, except it's a little bit different in the way and how that it's played. Either way, really great job by the bandit there. I think RTC was able to hold that beautifully.
Yeah, it was a beautiful play by Bandit. He had the consciousness to use the sandbags to get himself a little bit of a higher vantage point so that if anyone was to peek him from the window like they did, he would be able to get the pickup, because if you're not on the sandbags, you're not high enough to actually have an angle on him. So very good job by him, and that pretty much set the pace for their defensive hold. And just like that, we're tied up 3-3. It is map 2, of course. Map 1 went over to NerVa. So, gonna see if they can end it here. They did come back from a 3-0 deficit already. Looks like another meeting hold going down. Singular reinforcement on the kitchen wall. Mira going on this right side classroom. They didn't reinforce the left side wall. Johnimo already inside on Sledge, and he takes out Pulse, who was trying to roam into the kitchen side. And that's a very early pickup, 30 seconds in. So far so good for NerVa. Just continuing on that momentum. Looks like we did have another one sitting up along the side. Mira still playing this right side meeting wall. Twitch has control of the garage. Doing a very good job. They have full control of pretty much all of the building. Somehow 9 went down, and Ash shoots him from underneath, shoots his feet, downs him, and then kills him with the Ash charge. Very heads up play by him, and it's now 5v3. Sledge gonna sledge in. They know they're on rear stage. Let's see if he can get the pick. Going to throw a grenade over top. There is nothing back there, and a team kill comes through, but the grenade does take him out. It's 3v2, and a very unfortunate team kill. No ADS on the rear stage. If you're gonna play that, you gotta put an ADS there to save yourself. Pretty much just said Kobe and chucked it. 135 remaining. Again, 3v2 in favor of NerVa. They came back from a 0-3 deficit. Love the spunk I'm seeing. Oak is in basement.
So now as it comes down to about 1 minute and 20 seconds, this is still definitely an unwinnable situation for Guilty. A little bit of a misfire there from Habana. That's definitely going to save that Mira, so they can still use that Mira down there to really try and apply pressure on the plant position. A little bit of spamming coming out from Blackbeard. Little does he know that there's actually no one there. The minute left, he still has all 3 of his smoke grenades. This could definitely go out in favor of the defense here.
Attackers have located
The first one a little bit early, but
He
decides to push
whiffed!
a little bit aggressively.
He had an easy kill on him and was slightly to the left. I do like the placement of the smoke since they have been falling from the hatch, but you just can't miss that shot, and this one is now pretty much all whatever. There was still a chance. It's going to be very difficult. Jaeger knows he's there. He's going to try to get the peek using that Mira. He knows he's getting flanked. Oh, he goes for the drop shot, but he gets him. It's now a 2v1. He knows that the bomb is going down. He's just not sure where the other player is. He doesn't see him on the right side laundry basket, and I guess he's just going to go for a full flank here, Talon.
Very, very risky move, especially if they have a drone looking around. I don't think they do, so this could very well prove it. I think he's pre-firing a little bit, so the gig is up.
Yeah, this one is going to be very difficult. Of course, it's still winnable. The question is, does he have the mustard that he needs? And just like that, it's pretty much going to be over. Taking too much time. Blackbeard knows he's there. I like the thought at the end to drop the hatch, fake out the Blackbeard, but good heads-up play by Habana. And just like that, a 4-round swing in this game in favor of NerVa. All momentum, and you have to be asking yourself, Talon, is it in the head of Guilty? Are they now mentally taking themselves out of this game?
Yeah, I don't know. This is definitely that last round. They're trying to go for meeting hole, but they completely neglected not only the kitchen wall, but they also neglected the attic up in there above meeting. They were able to just bust right in with breaching charges and sledging coming in from kitchen, and they just didn't have the right setup to do that. I think they needed a little bit more reinforcements up in the attic, maybe even fully reinforce off the kitchen wall, start giving up some of these things like the hatch reinforcement,
Attackers
or
need to locate and
downstairs,
defuse the
that
bomb.
one individual wall facing towards the rear stairs. Start giving up some of those more important reinforcements, so that way you can really try to hold your meeting hold even better, because just straight leaving out that meeting and really focusing more on downstairs, it's going to leave the 3 people who are trying to play upstairs, they're just going to get caught out too much, because there's just too many angles for them to fight. Again, that wall also towards the garage was not reinforced, so I think they're missing a lot of reinforcements that if they had, would have definitely helped them much more. Instead, they decided to reinforce construction wall, most likely, which in my opinion is not really what you need to be doing if you're going for a meeting hold. Meeting holds are more like an all or nothing sort of thing, and they only went halfway, and of course they lost it out because of it.
Defuse a bomb.
All right, it is now match point once again for NerVa, doing a fantastic job on their comeback. Demonic has been doing most of the roaming. Gonna see if he actually goes for some more roam. They spotted him in the back of construction, and we're gonna try to jump on with Thermite real quick, because they are looking to pressure that construction, and Demonic has actually gotten himself inside the corner, and he knows he's there. He must have heard him creep, and 9 doing a very good job, but RTC gets the trade right back on him. It's a 4v4, so a very good job by him to get the trade. Still very early.
That worth it for sure. Taking out that Thermite, now that all they have is the Habana, it looked like they were trying to do some sort of construction take. However, taking out that Thermite kind of stopped it right in its tracks, leaving only, I believe, a sledge there to try to continue it. Ash is, of course, going to try to come back from, I believe, backstairs, maybe not. So definitely slow that momentum a lot by trying to shoot that Thermite in first. I would have liked to see someone such a sledge.
Beautiful grenade.
In the Twitch. Yeah, very, very good throw coming out there. Nice pre-cooked and thrown. I don't think they're going to be able to get him up. Honestly, he should just, just don't even worry about the down person. They're not going to get him up as long as you keep applying pressure. It looks like they did leave one wall unreinforced, so they will have a way in to get into that electric room, but I don't think it's going to do that much. Again, finally picking up that down person.
Crazy finally taking him out. He does get him, though. It's 4v3 in favor of the attackers. They did a very good job in the beginning getting that trade. The Thermite is down, but they still have access into the side electric room. Smokes are going down in the hallway. Smoke did a very good job, and that's going to kill him. Beautiful use of the smoke right there. And he's actually able to smoke off the planter too, but is he going to get the bomb down? No, he gets killed. Jonimo does a good job pushing on the outside and getting the pick. It's now right back in favor of NerVa. 3-2, 1 minute remaining. Defenders doing a very good job keeping their heads up and keeping their composure. Ash using... Twitch trying to get the pre-fire onto the smoke in the corner of that closet. Smoke does have 1 smoke remaining, 45 seconds left, just got it, priming it, ready to go. Ash finally meeting up with his teammate on the front side. Looking like she's gonna push back to the hallway, peeking the angle, but needs to give support to his teammate. The bomb is stuck down on top of Laundry, who's able to find his way into the corner. That's Ash down, and it's all resides. Match point looking like it's going to be a 2-0 for NerVa. They know he's there, and all they have to do is kill him. Pinch together. Jonimo does a very good job at the end securing that, and a beautiful comeback. They went from 0-3 to 5-0, and that's a 2-0, and they go up 1-0 in week 1.
Very, very strong and solid round coming out from NerVa. Again, going in, being a little bit aggressive. Demonic in that construction. He wasn't able to get the pick. However, RTC able to get that trade onto the Thermite. Of course, getting that Thermite meant there's no way that they can get the proper angles that they needed to without rotating the Habana around. Habana was, of course, on the other side of the map, trying to get that main hatch open, which they ended up doing. They ended up pushing down, almost got it. Great heads-up play from the smoke there, able to pick up Crazy, and, of course, denying the plant. Very good job there from both teams, or from NerVa, excuse me, and the smoke, especially on that last round. I think I would have liked to have seen Guilty not spread out, not split. Half of their forces kind of went to that front, default take, and then the other half tried to push down through construction, which of course got shut down pretty quickly. So I think they really needed to focus one thing at a time and really try to keep your forces together under one goal until you get a little bit more coordinated and you can actually able to pull out the frags I think a lot of it came down to missed aim duels. So either way, a great series from NerVa. Guilty, they definitely showed that they have some potential. So we'll see if they decide to go back, look through the replays, and figure out, hey, this is what we need to do. Let's come back to these maps next week and go from there. Other than that, a great series.
Yeah, I really think it was a solid team performance by both teams. Guilty did a very good job adjusting between the games to try to bring it up, but then they were able, or NerVa was able to make the counter plays that they needed to bring it back and take this to a series. Fortunately, it is a 14-game season, so just like you said, they can review these films, they can go back, go to the drawing board, say what did we do wrong, what went wrong, and then they can come back even stronger next week, excuse me. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to bring to the table because I think we've seen a lot of potential here from both teams. And I think that is it for right now. There will be a small 4-minute switchover because we're going to have to switch hosts. We will be back live around 9:15. The next match is 9:30. I know it's long, but we have to give that extra time just in case it goes all maps, all rounds. So just hang in there and bear with us. Again, Talon, thank you. You did a wonderful job. And I'm Fluffy. That's Talon. See you later.